Alessandro is going to be starting through the back of the head, where he's going to bring the bottom length up simply by cutting a one length through his comb on the base of the client's back. This is so there is no elevation or tension working through to create quite a strong outline at the back. Although we are creating a strong outline, which is going to be a square line on the perimeter, Alessandro is working with the points of the scissor. This will help him create the external length that he wants to see, where he's creating something that looks very natural but also strong in shape. When creating any one length on the perimeter, it's important to establish the shape and length first and foremost. He's then going to be working with the comb on the inside of his finger and pulling out very slowly with lots of control and tension, and then working with the points of his scissor to create a square cutting line that is very broken up and soft yet again. This will help create more texture and more movement within the internal shape of the area through the nape. Once the final section has been cut behind the ear, Alessandro will now cross-check that shape horizontally, making sure that he elevates the hair the exact same elevation as he would cut it on the vertical axes. This is really important when you're cross-checking to make sure that you don't ruin or disturb the shape that you've just cut. Alessandro is going to texturize the internal shape to create more movement and softness within the bottom perimeter. He's working with backward diagonal sections, working with lots of tension and control, and working with the feather razor in a vertical way, which will allow him to reduce the weight internally from the center of the layering. Alessandro is going to move on straight away to the second side, where again he wants to replicate that same shape of shorter at the top to longer at the bottom, working with minimum tension and minimum elevation, just enough to create some softness through the cutting line, which is enhanced with the points of the scissor. Again, this time he's going to be standing in front of the client rather than to the side of the client. As a right-hander, it's going to be easier for him to achieve the same result standing on the front corner of the shoulder on the second side. Alessandro wants to only slightly give a very small layer to the side panel because he doesn't want to remove too much weight. The idea behind this is to create a little bit of movement through the edge of the perimeter. If he was to just leave it how it was, it may sit a little flat, but with a very slight layer running through the perimeter, it will give a little bit more movement in terms of texture and also softness. So again, Alessandro is working with the slicing technique of the V of the scissor, and it will just create a very small textured area through the perimeter, really breaking it up and create. Again, he's going to be working with some very deep point cutting to create maximum softness and texture for a more lived in and more movable haircut. Although Alessandro is basing this part of the haircut on a square shape, you can see that the perimeter isn't going to be a strong and heavy line. It's going to be a very broken up and heavily textured line, which is going to be very uneven, but also still have the running theme of a square shape through that area. This is now a good time for him to choose what length and shape he wants to create going in towards the fringe area. Because we want quite a soft and fluid finish on this haircut, we're going to be working a rounder shape in towards that frontal zone, meaning it goes shorter in towards the fringe area to really increase that shape and frame the face with the shorter layers at the front. You can see that Alessandro is working with lots of control, making sure he's concentrating on not only the cutting line, but the elevation and other direction that he's using to create that round shape. When you are personalizing and texturizing longer length hair, don't just take advantage of where the hair sits because of the length that you've cut it at. Really start to pre-style the hair, manipulate it, move it around, start to mold it into the shape that you want to see it and how you want it to sit. Then it will give you a good indication of how much texturizing you need to do in certain areas. For example, you can see he's doing a lot more through the top than through the back or through the bottom of the head because of the way that he wants the hair to sit, where he wants it to sit framing the face, very soft and very natural, where the hair will just fall and look good. He's increasing a lot of texture and taking away a lot of density through these areas. Alessandro is now going to go into that exterior line at the bottom where he created that strong round shape, and again work with some really heavy slicing through the bottom of the hair. This is a really cool visual technique to work, which is very much freehand but working with lots of control with the V of the scissor. We hope that you like the end result of Alessandro's longer length men's haircut for spring summer 2025. We hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial and you've learned lots of new techniques. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you on the next collection video.